Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. Guillermo Rigondeaux no longer a champion at any weight. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chat channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family we working. Now, we all knew this moment was coming, or at least if you follow my channel in detail. I made about 2 videos about it before the Vasily Lomachenko Rigondeaux fight, and I told you the intent. Now it is done. The deal was this: if Rigondeaux lost to Lomachenko, if he were to lose, then he would automatically be stripped of his title at super bantamweight, 122 pounds, no matter what. If he were to beat Lomachenko at 130 pounds, then he would have 5 days to decide if he's coming back to 122, staying at 130, going to 126, or whatever. And obviously he clearly lost. He got dominated. He pulled a no mas, and he lost at 130. Now the WBA has stripped him of his title. And I just look at it like this. We knew that this was coming. I think it's pretty foul what the WBA did to Rigondeaux and what the boxing world did to Rigondeaux. Now, as far as the Lomachenko, I mean, Rigondeaux asked for the fight. He took the short money. So those things you have to also fault Rigondeaux for. But it's just sad how Rigondeaux was treated throughout his career. You know what I mean? Beating Donaire, a guy who hadn't lost in 11 years and who was HBO's cash cow, top ranked cash cow. It seems that once you dethrone him in that fashion, it would have been on and popping. Like, you look at most fighters, Anthony Joshua when he beat Klitschko, Errol Spence when he beat Kell Brook, right? Lomachenko when he beat whoever, Gary Russell, Nicholas Walters. Things usually get rocking for you and your career picks up. But that didn't happen for Rigondeaux. In fact, the opposite happened. It's like HBO, Top Rank, everybody got mad at Rigondeaux and actually blackballed him, starved him out of fights, didn't want to promote him. You know what I mean? I think his fight with Joseph Ekbeko, they put it on with the competing Showtime telecast. You know what I mean? And then complained that the numbers weren't good enough and the fight was boring, knowing that Joseph Ekbeko fought gun shy, I guess you could say. Right? So, in the end, Rigondeaux was treated like shit. The people who wanted Rigondeaux out of the sport, their wishes coming true. You know what I mean? Because now he's no longer a champion. He's 37 years old, they say, and it's gonna be an uphill battle. Skill wise, even though he lost to Lomachenko and quit, I think he could come back. But things are stacked against him. I mean, one, you just took an embarrassing loss after all that build up, right? So, you know what I mean, naturally the detractors are gonna say, oh, you were overrated. Then I was looking at the WBA rankings and they removed him. So most likely they'll have the number 1 and number 2 guy scrap in an eliminator or scrap for the vacant belt. So that's Moises Flores, a guy that Rigondeaux beat that was later changed to a no contest. And their most recent December 2017 rankings, they have some guy named Tomaki Kameda. I'm not really familiar with him. So probably him or somebody else who's available, Moises Flores and somebody else, will scrap for Rigondeaux's now vacated belt, right? The other thing that's shitty is if you look at the WB rankings, I understand Lomachenko beat Rigondeaux at 130. However, I don't even see Rigondeaux in the top 15 anymore. Yet they have guys like Evgeny Gradovich at number 4. And if I'm not mistaken, I thought Gradovich retired. I thought he had some issue like Zhao Shiming with his vision or his eyes or something, and he retired. So it's like, how do you have him at number 4, but you don't even have Rigondeaux? Then you have Rico Ramos, who I believe Rigondeaux already beat in at number 8, as you guys can see on the screen. So, like I said, the people, the powers that be, have always been out for Rigondeaux. I'm not trying to say a sob story or whatever. The Lomachenko loss was a Lomachenko loss, but even in that defeat, we've seen other situations like Kell Brook. Kell Brook fought against Gennady Golovkin at 160, got beat and broke his eye socket, or got his eye socket broken, but still came back to welterweight as a champion. But for whatever reason, the WBA just said, nope. You know what I mean? So it's like they wanted to remove him and didn't want him to be a champion anyway, because it was a high-stakes fight, Lomachenko versus Rigondeaux, and if he were to lose at a new weight, you take everything that he's earned, even at super bantamweight, which, you know what I mean, made it even worse. So, yeah, I get, in hindsight, looking back, how everything played out, Rigondeaux, maybe he should have just stayed in his division, you know what I mean? Because at least you would still be a champion, and you wouldn't have taken that embarrassing loss. But, again, the system was kind of set up against Rigondeaux, in my opinion. They blackballed him. They let people like Leo Santa Cruz, Carl Frampton, Scott Quigg, Donaire in the rematch. But I at least give props to Donaire for fighting him at least one time. You know what I mean? They let these different guys not fight Rigondeaux, who were in his weight division and moved out of it. Abner Matas was another person. You know what I mean? These guys were big names, and people justified none of those fights happening, claiming that Rigondeaux's style was boring, this, that, and the third. And he got desperate. That's what it sounds like. Got desperate to prove himself, to prove how good he was. More time elapsed, 37, jumped 2 weight classes, and he came up very short versus Lomachenko. You know what I mean? Kind of reminds me of Amir Khan to a degree, where Amir Khan, he had been pushing, yeah, I know I could beat Floyd, and he's saying he could beat Floyd Mayweather, and he wants to fight Pacquiao, and he was searching for a big money fight. Golden Boy knew he was desperate. He had fought Chris Algieri, been on like a year and a half layoff or so after the Algieri fight. Couldn't get the Pacquiao fight. Everything fell apart. Floyd didn't fuck with him and give him the fight. Golden Boy seen that. Okay, come up to 55 and fight Canelo. And we have not seen Amir Khan in the ring since. That brutal knockout. You know what I mean? So similar situation to me, where fighters, they got to start looking at their career and don't let nobody put no batter in your back. I guess, you know what I mean? Don't ever get desperate that you do what's wrong for your career. Because now Rigondeaux is kind of fucked if you think about it. You got people on HBO like Ray Vargas, who look cool. Jesse Magdaleno, he's WBO champion and beat Donaire. He's with Top Rank. You know what I mean? So these other guys, they'll probably get more opportunities. But Rigondeaux, you know what I mean? People complained about his style, this and that. So I don't really know where he goes from here. Let me know your thoughts. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego, signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.